Hey guys, Big Sim, and welcome to episode 9 of Rare and Collectible PS3 games. We are 9 episodes in, we're on to the letter F, G, I don't think we touched into H maybe today. So yeah, it looks like we're going to go the full 9 yards, and this is going to be maybe a 20-30 episode series. So yeah, appreciate all the support so far guys, it's been unreal every week, you guys keep getting crazier and crazier. So, we'll get on to the episode. First game I'm going to talk about is a little bit different today. It doesn't actually have the PS3 logo up the top like the other games do. It's Ferrari, the race experience, and this doesn't actually come with a disc. It includes just a download voucher. It says not to be sold separately, not for resale on the back. It does have a barcode though, it's factory sealed. I imported this from Europe. It was pretty cheap. I believe this will be quite collectible down the line. I would look for a sealed copy though, as it's a download game only. Or a voucher game only, I should say. Next we'll talk about is the Fighting Collection. Now this is a triple pack that includes Soul Calibur 5, includes Tekken 6, and Tekken Tag Tournament 2. It can be found pretty cheap. You can pick this up for under $20. I got a bit of Nico on the disc that I haven't taken off yet. That's quite easy to get rid of with Magic Marker. Next games we're going to talk about are more fighting games. We've got Fist of the North Star 1 and Fist of the North Star 2, Ken's Rage. These are released everywhere. They're actually quite collectible. You're going to be looking at paying $20 plus for these games. Online they're even $40 plus. I wouldn't pay that much. But you can definitely get these games for about the $20 mark, guys. So that's the Fist of the North Star, Ken's Rage 1 and 2. So there's an absolute ton of Final Fantasy games and steelbooks and collector's editions on the PS3. Today we'll just touch on the regular games. So first one I want to talk about is Final Fantasy X, X-2, the HD remaster. So here we have the North American version. And here we have the PAL version. Just a bit of a cover variant between the two. Again, so you can play Final Fantasy X with trophies. This is available on PS4 as well. These copies go between the $20 and $30 mark. So if you see them in the wild, a little bit cheaper than that, guys, definitely pick them up. They're very common, so you can see them everywhere. They just have quite a high price mark. Next is Final Fantasy XIII. And I wanted to talk about 13, 13-2, and Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns. So these are all common games. You can find them for the $10 to $20 mark. Especially 13 itself, it's really common. But again, being Final Fantasy games, I believe they're quite collectible. I'd pick them up for the system. The hardest one to find will probably be Lightning Returns. And if you're in America, there's actually a cover variant for that one as well. Next, on to 14. There's a couple of versions of 14 that are quite collectible for the PS3. First one is HeavenSword. Now this includes the HeavenSword DLC. I got a sealed copy off Amazon quite cheap. I've never actually seen this in the wild, and I believe it was American release only, so good luck getting one of those if you're not in America. However, it was quite cheap to get, so you guys shouldn't have too much trouble on that one. This one you'll have a little bit more trouble on. This is Final Fantasy XIV, the complete experience. So it includes A Realm Reborn and HeavenSword, all the DLC. Again, I picked this up off Amazon quite cheap. However, at the time, I don't think there were many copies left. And again, it was only released in America, guys. So that's Final Fantasy XIV, the complete experience. Next game I want to talk about is Folklore. This is an early release PS3 game. It's actually one of the better games on the system, and you call it a hidden gem. It's an RPG that's sort of it's cartoonish. It's imagine I'm thinking of a movie and I can't think of it in my head. It's like a Halloween type movie. But yeah, it was a really fun game, guys. If you see Folklore in the wild under $20, I would pick it up. It can be quite expensive online. A lot of people will talk it up as a hidden gem video, such as Metal Jesus. This artificially increased the price, so good luck getting a copy of Folklore, guys. Try and track this one down earlier than later. Next game I want to talk about is a little bit different. It's on the complete opposite end of what the last game was. It is not a good game. It's Fritz Chess. I've never played it, but I can't see this being a very good PS3 game. It's chess. It can only be one thing. This was only released in Europe though, guys, and it is quite a difficult game to find. I actually found one in the wild years ago. I've never seen another copy. I've been collecting actively for about 7 years, so that should give you a reference on how common this is. Yeah, so that's Fritz by Chessbase. I wouldn't pay more than $20 for this game, but you are going to have to import it, so take import fees into consideration when you're going to get this game if you're not in Europe. Alright, so the next game is another Europe exclusive. It's actually a German exclusive. And if you haven't seen this before, this is this is a game. Germany's next Topmodel. I haven't played it. I'm never going to play it. I've got nothing. But yeah, this is cheap in Germany. It's a very oddball game. It's Germany's next Topmodel. But I believe it's quite collectible. Being a country exclusive, all the country exclusive games, in my opinion, are quite collectible, especially being a region-free system. Yeah, that was Germany's next Topmodel. It's always a conversation starter, that game, so. So the next one I want to talk about is Ghostbusters, the video game, and this version here actually includes the Blu-ray movie. This was only released in Europe, the Blu-ray movie version. And there it is there. And it just fell out. This version itself, you're going to be looking at the $30 plus mark. That's quite expensive. I've been looking for this for years. I only recently just gave up and bought a copy on eBay. Yeah, so that's Ghostbusters, the video game with the Blu-ray movie. The regular Ghostbusters game cover is actually green, so that's how you can tell the two apart. And if you do find an incomplete copy, I would still pick it up because you can get the Blu-ray movie online very cheap. You know, you could probably pick up an incomplete copy for about $20 and then pick up the movie for another $5. I want to talk about one of the God of War games. This is quite collectible in my opinion. It's the God of War Saga. It includes God of War 1, 2, 3, Chains of Olympus, and Ghost of Sparta. It's got 2 discs as well as download vouchers for some of the other games. This was only released in Region 3 as well as North America. So if you're in the PAL region, you are going to have to import it. And I'm unaware if the codes have been expired or not. You're going to have to let me know in the comments if anyone knows. Yeah, that's the God of War Saga. I could have showed you guys the God of War trilogy and other double packs, etc. But in my opinion, they're quite common for the PS3. I'd still pick them up, but I'm just going to talk about the God of War Saga in this series. So the next game I want to talk about is the Godfather, the Don's Edition. Now, this is actually quite a collectible game. I've seen copies go for $40 plus. This was released on the Xbox and the PS2, but this version is the Don's Edition. I believe it includes extra content, bonus making of the scenes videos, new weapon. It uses the 6-axis controller. That's pretty cool. And was it a release title? No, it was a very, very early release title for the PS3, though. That is the Godfather, the Don's Edition. Next game I want to talk about is quite rare. Not extremely rare, but this is not a game that you're going to find easily. It is Godzilla. It was a PAL exclusive. It was released on PS4. The PS4 version is quite common. PS3 version, on the other hand, is very hard to find. I have found multiple copies in my time. It was released in Australia, so that gives me a little bit of an advantage. I think I found 2 copies in 7 years of collecting, so there you go. There we have Godzilla. These next couple of games are very odd. They're Gran Turismo titles, but they're not what you're going to be expecting. I just believe they're quite collectible because they're very old, you don't see them, and in 5 or 10 years you're never going to see a sealed copy apart from online. So here we have Gran Turismo 6, 1 million in-game credits, 2.5 million in-game credits. Yes, these were released in a case with a download code only. Both of my copies are sealed. I'm not going to be opening them. Look, they're not official releases. Got barcodes, but yeah. A lot of you guys won't even consider these because they don't have a disc. But for you crazy collectors out there that are going for the download voucher set, I would include these in the set. That was the 1 million game credits and the 2.5 million game credits. Of the two, surprisingly enough, the 1 million is actually the harder one to find. Go figure. Next game I wanted to talk about is the Green Lantern, Rise of the Manhunters. This is actually quite a hard game to find. Of all the kids' games, the superhero games, I rarely ever see this. I managed to get a sealed copy online, part of a double pack with the Blu-ray, which I will show in a later video. But yeah, if you see this, guys, even under $25, I would pick it up. I did get an Australian release, as you can see. And being a superhero game, you're going to have multiple collectors that are going to be looking for it. Yeah, that's Green Lantern. So the next game I want to talk about is Grid Autosport. Now, this is the limited black edition. There is a regular edition. I just recently, within the last week, purchased it on eBay. It's one of the last 5 PAL games I needed. I couldn't find the Australian copy. I gave up and bought a UK PAL copy. In my opinion, it's one of the harder PS3 games to find. So if you see Grid Autosport with the white cover, definitely pick it up, guys. Even under $20, I paid $22 for an imported copy. Again, the black edition is quite hard to find as well. So if you see this for under $15, I would pick it up. The Grid games tend to be quite collectible and they seem to resell quite well online. So it seems there's quite a fan base for these games. Now, moving on, we have another one of those weird download vouchers. Now, this version itself is actually one of the rarest games on the PS3. I will explain why. This is Guardians of the Middle Earth. I'm going to open this just to show you guys. It's pretty cool on the inside. So it includes a download code in the shape of a CD, which is pretty cool. Now, in America, you can find this pretty common. It's got a blue little seal around it. In Europe, you can find this pretty common, sealed, pretty cheap. In Australia, good luck. It was only sold in JB Hi-Fi, and JB Hi-Fi destroyed every copy in 2015, I believe, once the online servers went down, making this virtually impossible to find after that, unless someone has a copy that we're willing to sell if they didn't discard it. Having no discs, no retail shops will buy it, so copies are only being sold locally, online, eBay, Facebook, Gumtree. I found 2 copies. Sorry, I apologise. A friend found one for me, and I found one for a friend. I only know of 5 or 6 Australian copies out there, so if you're going for the Australian set, this is one of the big, rare games that you are going to be looking out for, so good luck. The last game we're going to talk about today, guys, is the Guided Fate Paradox. This is an NIS JRPG title. It goes with the series The Orchid Fate Ultimatum, which I talked about in episode 2, or episode 3. I haven't actually played this, but it's quite a difficult JRPG to find. If you see a copy under $20, I'd definitely pick it up. Again, this has been years since I picked this up, so the price could even be more expensive. I've never actually seen this in the wild. A good friend traded a copy of the game with this with me, so I'm pretty grateful for that. Yeah, so that's the Guided Fate Paradox. Definitely pick that one up, guys, if you see it. Yeah, so this episode came a little bit long. I apologise for that. But yeah, that was all the games we're going to talk about today. Concludes episode 9. Again, I appreciate all the support, guys. We're at 209 subs, so hit that sub button. I'm going to keep grinding this YouTube thing out. I'm having heaps of fun doing it. You guys see I'm putting up multiple videos a week, so I'll keep that up. I'm playing in a PUBG tournament every Sunday morning, Australian time. It's live on Twitch, so feel free to check that out, guys. If you're a PUBG fan, we won the tournament last week, so that was pretty cool. Keep up to date with me on Twitter, guys, Instagram, and yeah, peace. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.